Why do men overgive early in relationships? I am seeing this so much more often. And I'm saying this with love, not trying to attack you guys here, trying to help. Okay, first you guys, you probably see a lot of those videos through social media while you're scrolling. Oh, I want a man that does this, this, and this, and this. So you think, okay, if I give more, I'll become more valuable, more texts, more dates, more gifts. And this is something I've had to learn the hard way myself. You can give someone the entire world. You could buy her a car every single day for an entire month. That's not going to make her like you more. You could send her 500 texts, and I mean, she'll probably be bothered at that point if she wasn't reciprocating. But sometimes when we overgive, we send a message to the other person that we don't feel like our presence is enough, that we're not enjoyable enough to be around, that we're not likable enough to be around. And this may not necessarily be true. It may be your self-esteem talking, and you may not have the highest self-esteem. Next, sometimes we have the scarcity mindset. I gotta lock this down before it goes away. It's like a sale where they only have 5 units left. You wanna make sure you have her because she might get swiped up by another guy. And while this makes perfect sense, sometimes that causes us to be overbearing or a little bit overly and too much. We're too much. We try to make her exclusive too quickly. And one thing I love is when you're in this mindset, you're trying to get her to like you. You want her to like you. So you're trying to do all these things to make her like you. But have you stopped and considered, do you actually like her? Are your guys' conversations good? Do you have a lot in common? Or again, are you just trying to make her like you? Because I've noticed that sometimes where you're so focused on, okay, I got to get this person to like me. I got to be nice to them. I got to keep giving. And then you stop yourself and you're like, wait a second. I don't even like them. They're rude. They take too much. They don't reciprocate. They make me feel like crap. I know you can argue that someone can't force you to feel a certain way. I'm not going to go there right now, but yeah, in general. Also, it's when we don't have certainty, this woman, she might be your girlfriend, okay? You might date her, but you also may not. That uncertainty can give us anxiety. And early dating is supposed to be a little uncertain, and that's why a lot of us hate it. That's why we want to get away from it. That's why we want to find someone, get married, and just be done with it. But that's the reality of dating, is you almost have to distract yourself in the beginning stages so you're not over communicating, trying to get that certainty yet. I've noticed sometimes, again, with do you like her? Sometimes men will be so, they want to get out of that uncertainty. They want to be in a relationship with her, and they end up in horrible relationships and they're treated badly, but they've already invested a lot. They've already texted her a lot. They've already spent so much time getting to know her to the point where they don't want to let that go because it's sunk cost fallacy. I can't talk. Next, you're performing for her approval. You're trying to be the good guy. You're suppressing your preferences. Maybe you're not completely being yourself because you want her to like you again. And approval seeking kills polarity. And being liked isn't the same thing as being chosen by her. You're better off her just being yourself and she ends up not liking you because you like golf than for you to pretend you hate golf and then you spend the whole relationship wishing you could be golfing and you can't because you told her you hated it, kind of thing. But the right woman will be ecstatic that you love it, or at least supportive, and encourage you to go out and do that sometimes. Next, I personally experienced this. You lead with your resources. I know sometimes you have a great job, you invest a lot of time into it, and that's kind of the thing you push forward at first because you're proud of it. You've worked hard at it. So maybe your income comes up, first date, but that attracts women who are using you for your money. I personally went on some dates like this when I was single, and my first thought was, why are you telling me this? I'm not interested in your money. I want to get to know you as a person. And then I was just like later on when I was talking to him more, he talked about how a lot of women that he would date would use him for his money. And I was just thinking in my head, it's well, that's one of the first things you brought up. So someone who is using you for your money is just going to jump on that. You're an easy target for that. And I know for a lot of men that invest a lot into their careers, that becomes a big piece of who you are, your personality, your overall goals, the way you see the world is because you're in that so much. Especially the men that work like lots of hours, like you're working 12, 13, sometimes 15 hours a day, then yeah, most of your life is work. So it's okay to talk about the work itself. Avoid the financial piece of it. Don't mention how much per hour. Don't mention how much you make a year. Maybe even avoid your job title if you can somehow pull that off. Also, some of these people will act like a provider before they're even in a relationship with the woman. That can also hurt you long term because, again, she'll keep you around because she likes the benefits. You're paying her bills or whatever. I'm not saying you can't pay for the first date. I know there's a lot of guys out there who feel it's necessary and they really want to, and that's very kind and sweet of you. I don't think it's required, but yeah, you can keep doing that. Just don't like take on her phone bill or electricity bill. I've seen some men offer that type of thing like right off the bat. You probably should be in a relationship with her first before you consider doing something like that. Next, a lot of men want to feel needed. I mean, it's a good feeling to feel needed. But as a result, you become her therapist. She can trauma dump on you. You absorb all of her stress. Especially on the early stages, that's too soon. And shame on her for even bringing that stuff up so early on. No. It should be gradually opening up to each other. And it should go both ways. You should be able to also talk to her about your issues. And it should be a two-way street. But based on what I've seen is sometimes women will be bringing this up. They just dump everything on him. And then he brings something up that he is going through. And she immediately gets the ick. No, that's not okay. But being needed feels good, yes. But you should be desired by her. Not necessarily just being needed. Now, what are the downsides to you overinvesting? First of all, resentment can appear, which is freaking weird, but it happens. Loss of attraction. Well, I don't think you necessarily should have to earn someone in a relationship. A woman shouldn't feel like, she met you 5 minutes ago and you're willing to become her husband in 5 minutes. Like, she should sort of feel like she has to earn you. And I'm not talking like she should have to go mow your lawn or something or pay for everything. But she should feel like your presence is conditional. If she treats you badly, disrespects you, you are prepared to walk away, and you will. You will not put up with her disrespect. And sometimes overgiving isn't kindness. It's an attempt to control the outcome of what we want. We know what we want. We think we can earn it by overgiving. And sometimes it just makes the person take more and become entitled to what you're giving. So be careful with that. So here's the new way to look at it. Try to match the effort. And this doesn't mean you don't take, you probably will have to do the first move. Women don't do the first move, which is, I hate it. But that's the reality. But like, I love Matthew Hussey. He's a relationship coach for like mostly women, but I love his invest then test. So you give something, you wait for something to come back. And it should be kind of close to equal, semi-close, because someone's 100% might be different from someone else's 100%. But don't give her a house and then she gives you a soda from the store and then calling it equal. That's a little too extreme. Stay curious on whether you like her longer. Keep that in mind. Do I like her? Always ask yourself that question. I love that question. Do I like them? Invest based on consistency and not your feelings. Sometimes, we're all guilty of this. Our feelings take over. We're obsessed with the person. We can't stop thinking about them. And then we give way too much. Try to rein that back and be logical in these situations. It definitely helps.